I told myself I was not going to record a video today. But after that Dave Canales press conference, I can't help myself. Wow. That was, talk about juicy. Just about every power structure in the Panthers organization. The quarterback, the owner, the whole coaching staff, all discussed in Dave Canales' Monday press conference, breaking it down today on Tuesday. First off, Dave Canales was called into David Tepper's office. So Tepper and Coach Dave met after Sunday's loss to Jacksonville. Here is the Panthers coach talking about his discussion with the Panthers owner.
What did your owner say about, how did he feel about the performance? You said you didn't like the team was out there. What did he say to you afterwards?
We had some great conversations.
It's so funny. Like, it's literally like when dad calls you after you steal from the cookie jar, or, you get called into the principal's office because you did something dumb at school. We had some great conversations. He got sat down and lectured by the owner or whatever they talked about after the game. Just a little tidbit. Who knows why the owner is calling him into the office after the game? An interesting development nonetheless, but this was the most interesting point of the Panthers coach's press conference. Dave Canales asked about the lack of snaps for rookies, Lathan Ransom, Nick Scorton, Princely Umanmielen, a lot of the younger players they have on defense from the 2025 draft class, and also not the draft picks themselves, but you think of Corey Thornton, for example. I didn't see a ton of him. Chow Smith-Wade and some of the guys from 2024 were on the field, like Trevin Wallace played a decent amount of snaps that game, unfortunately. But the rookies, I have the numbers here. Princely Umanmielen, 12% of snaps on defense. Lathan Ransom, 14% of defensive snaps. I didn't even think he was out there that much, honestly. I'm surprised it was that high. Nick Scorton, 27% of defensive snaps. These are the guys that are supposed to be on the field. You're supposed to be playing these players. Here's what Dave Canales has to say about why the young rookies did not play on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, well, I'm pushing that. I'd love for all of our young guys to play. I really believe that it's so valuable for those guys to be out there. Are they going to be perfect? No. Will every rep that they take be valuable and beneficial for their future? Yes. And so I would love for those guys to get opportunities out there so that we can see what we have. And then also just knowing like it's a long season and a lot of people are going to play, at different times. And so it'll help us, going forward.
For whatever reason, Dave Canales can't play the rookies on defense. He's pushing for the agenda. He's pushing to get the rookies on the field, but he himself is incapable of putting the rookies on the field. Who's running the defense? Who's deciding to put players into the game? That's the head coach's job. Canales is triumphant. He can go to Evero and say, put in Lathan Ransom, put in Nick Scorton. So who is pulling the strings here? This makes no sense. Why does Canales need to advocate to whoever? So he says the word pushing, as if he's pushing an agenda. So who is Canales trying to motivate to put the younger players into the game? And there's two philosophies that I've come up with. One is a recent development. The first one was, well, maybe Evero just doesn't care. Maybe Evero is completely checked out. He sits there and says, you're going to spend the 8th overall pick on Tetchero and McMillan. You're going to sign guards for contracts worth $150 million. The biggest transactions, acquisitions this team has made have been on the offensive side of the ball in recent history. And for that reason, Evero, he said it himself, I'm going to pour into my guys. I'm just going to do whatever I think is best. I don't care about the rookies. I don't care about having Nick Scorton out there or Umanmielen out there because I'm coaching for my job tomorrow, not for the Panthers in 2 months. And those rookie mistakes might cost us some games. Evero says, I like Pat Jones. I like Wanham a little more. at this point in time than the rookies. And you know what? Middle finger to this organization. I'm putting the guys in that I think can play. Maybe that's what Evero is thinking. Another more daunting side of it is, well, what's going on behind closed doors? And this whole collaborative effort, is this all just a big con? Is it a big con? Is the owner involved? Is management involved? I look at the front office, for example, and are they all getting together round table and getting together as a group to make these decisions? And Canales needs someone else's blessing in order to play the rookies. And look, in the same press conference, he's talking about how he met with Tepper after the game. And again, I'm just theorizing here. I'm spitballing. I don't know what's going on. It makes no sense that the coach can't make the decision to put Lathan Ransom or Nick Scorton in the game. And this idea that they need to keep Nick Scott on the field. Like, Nick Scott is some sort of sacred cow. God forbid you take him out of the game. You need Nick Scott playing 100% of defensive snaps. You need him on the field. And if Evero's not calling the shots, Canales says he's not deciding who to put in the game. Who's calling the shots? Is it like the ghost of a Ejiro Evero? The guy they thought they hired is just, a meta-magical entity on the sideline pulling the strings? Evero is just there, but like maybe his spirit has risen. His spirit is is running the team. Like, it's like, I'm serious though. I'm making it a joke, but like, it doesn't make sense. How can Canales sit here and tell you that he has to push the agenda? That he's the one that doesn't have ownership over who plays, even if it's on defense. And this garbage they sell us all off season about development and growth, and then push comes to shove, and it's like, we need to keep Nick Scott on the field? We need to keep the rotational edge rushers from Minnesota on the field? We need guys who are journeyman starters at best on the field? I don't understand it. That's disorganized to me, at the least. And the cause of the disorganization, whether it's the owner, whether it's Evero checking out, and I don't want to make those accusations, obviously, but I don't know what's causing this. And something else is at play, because it makes absolutely no sense that they're going to sell us the entire offseason the narrative that you can't bring in free agents. Gosh forbid you bring in Julian Blackmon. You bring in Jermaine Pratt. You can't have these guys. You can't have Devin White, who just signed like a 1-year, $1 million deal with Vegas and look really good. You can't have those guys, because that hinders the development of the young players you have. And then you get to the game and you don't even put the young players in the field. It's garbage. It's complete garbage. I do want to talk about this. So this we reviewed yesterday, and Canales, again, not making excuses for his quarterback. Here is Dave Canales talking about the importance of the pre-snap operation.
How much of an impact is it when you're breaking the huddle, or they're breaking the huddle late, and Bryce not getting to see the field?
It creates more challenges. We have the information we need to get the hots right, to get the protection right, but it's those critical 5 or 6 seconds. It doesn't seem like a lot of time. It's everything, for us to be able to play at the line of scrimmage, get to the right looks, and execute.
Canales, to his credit, did say that he takes some accountability for not putting and getting the play into Bryce Young in the offense earlier. But again, this is a dig at Bryce Young. This is Bryce Young's problem in Dave Canales' eyes. The quote again, those 5 to 6 seconds. So, the pre-snap operation, Bryce Young's under the center's butt or in the shotgun, and that read of the defense, the audible, the reason Tom Brady had the career he had is because what he did at the line of scrimmage. Same with Peyton Manning, and same with a lot of the great quarterbacks. And Canales says we get the information in there. We get the hot routes in there, and that 5 to 6 second window, reading the defense, maybe changing a receiver's route, making some sort of adjustment at the line, that's on the quarterback. And I agree with him. I agree with him. Watch Lamar Jackson. Watch Josh Allen. I did. After I was done recording and writing all this yesterday on the Panthers, I go and turn on the game. And thank gosh someone commented this on one of the videos. I'm so sorry I can't give a shout out right now. The Monday video, someone comments, they go, Tone, I don't think Bryce Young looked confident at all at the beginning of the game. And I thought he did look somewhat confident, but the reason I think he looks confident is because I'm comparing Bryce Young to Bryce Young. And then you watch Josh Allen, then you watch Justin Herbert, then you watch Lamar Jackson and these real quarterbacks, and you would never know if the coach makes a mistake. They slowly but surely get up to the line of scrimmage. They look comfortable. It's cool. They make adjustments. They read the defense all in a split second. And there is a little bit of a reason to be concerned that maybe Bryce Young doesn't have that. Maybe that's not an innate talent that he has. And I'm not concerned about the Panthers quarterback. I'm not pushing panic by any means, but a lot of this is on the quarterback. And you can complain that Dave Canales isn't getting the plays in on time. Ultimately, some of that is just reading the defense, the operation at the line of scrimmage. And generally, I think Canales looks at this thing and says, this isn't my problem. On the 3 turnovers, Bryce Young overthrew Rico Dowdle. Bryce Young has to see the safety, talking about the Aluakon interception where Eric Murray came up and made the play and got between Xavier Legette and the ball. Bryce Young needs to protect the football. T-Mac needs to get 2 hands on the ball. These are all things Dave Canales is saying. This isn't what the Tone is saying. This is what the Panthers coach is saying. I think he sits there and looks at it and goes, I have guys that can't play. Xavier Legette on that 4th and 1 on the goal line, he's in the wrong place. He should be maybe running that route a little bit deeper. He should be getting past the first down marker. He should be looking for the ball right off the rip when it's just Devin Lloyd and Bryce Young and Xavier Legette. And you have a mismatch. Legette did the wrong thing. The quarterback probably could have done more too at the line of scrimmage again, and he didn't. And then that's we won't call it a broken play, but Young kind of just tosses it over the pylons like, F this. F this. And I think Canales looks at everything and goes, I don't have Adam Thielen here. Jalen Coker's probably better than Legette. And the intelligence of some of these players, the football IQ, it's not there. It's not up to par. And this isn't what I had with Geno Smith. This isn't what I had with Baker Mayfield. And you know what? I'm upset. And I'm going to blame the execution. This is how Canales feels. Whether or not you agree with it, I don't know. But I just am here to break down how the Panthers coach feels on Sunday. It will get better, and I'll be more optimistic, I promise. But I had to get that information to you. We're going to break down the next Panthers matchup coming this Sunday to a streaming service near you, the Panthers. I had to do that at least once. This is the Tone.